So I've had the Samsung Odyssey Plus Windows Mixed Reality headset since 2018, and although there's a lot of better, newer options that have released since then, I'm going to talk about why I'm still using a now 5-year-old headset. When talking about VR headsets, there's a lot of potential topics to discuss. In this video, I'll talk about things like screen quality, field of view, immersion, tracking, compatibility, durability, ease of use, and finally my overall conclusion as to why I'm still using a 5-year-old headset. Let's start with why I bought the Samsung Odyssey Plus in the first place. For starters, I'd always known I wanted a PC VR headset ever since I would watch my favorite YouTubers play games. I remember watching people play Arizona Sunshine on the Vive and thinking it was probably the best gaming experience anyone could have. So I bought the cheapest good headset that was available to me at the time. I had a GTX 970 and all of the latest GPU models boasted about how they were VR ready on the box. I remember playing Onward for the first time, and I remember how blurry it was and how difficult it was to see enemies from farther than about 30 meters. In the early days, I didn't know what I was doing with any of the settings or why my VR experience wasn't all it was hyped up to be. But fast forward a couple of years and I upgraded to an RTX 2060 Super, and then I actually tweaked my settings and I had a pulley set up for the cable. So that meant all I had to do was plug the cables in and I was ready to go. From this point on, I really started enjoying the headset. I had crisp visuals, beautiful colors, and the refresh rate was nice. I got used to the pulley system and I was able to really enjoy playing FPS games. Remember that list of things I said I would talk about? Let's get into that. The Samsung Odyssey Plus has dual OLED screens with a resolution of 2880 by 1600, 1440 by 1600 per eye, and a refresh rate of 90 Hz. For reference, the recently released Quest 3 has dual LCD displays with 2064 by 2208 per eye and a refresh rate of 120 Hz. So clearly it's a smoother and better experience out of the box. While the resolution of the screen on the Samsung isn't nearly as good as the Quest 3 out of the box, it can be tweaked. I personally have mine set to 200% resolution, which equates to 2040 by 2544 per eye. So it's basically matching the Quest 3. As far as the field of view goes, the Odyssey Plus has the same 110 degree field of view as the new Quest 3, and I've never had any problems with it. Visually, the immersion is very good as long as I have the headset's sweet spot directly in front of my eyes, but that brings me to my next point. So for hand tracking, the tracking is inside out and the controllers are very outdated. They still use those light rings and they're very bulky and clumsy. So I have trouble aiming in FPS games and using items like grenades to the point to where the tracking sometimes gets me killed. Don't get me wrong, I can still hit some pretty good headshots, but I do sometimes wish that the big light rings weren't there and that the tracking was better. Like, way better. In addition to aiming being difficult, the controllers get in the way of reloading and using certain items like grenades and RPGs. This can be very difficult because you can't take advantage of all the tools that you have in a video game. But overall, I would say the controllers are bulky and cheap feeling, and while that's true, they do get the job done. I've been using the Odyssey Plus with Windows 10 ever since I got it, and I've never had any issues with connecting it and using it with my PC. The only time I've had issues with compatibility has been when trying to play Pavlov after a patch that broke the use of Windows Mixed Reality controllers. I don't remember exactly how long it took them to patch the issue, but for a while Pavlov was completely unplayable because you couldn't use the touchpads on Windows Mixed Reality controllers, so that meant you couldn't reload because you couldn't hit the mag release, you couldn't hit the slide, you really couldn't do a lot of things, you couldn't switch fire mode, but yeah, it was basically unusable. The headset and controllers have both withstood a lot of abuse since I bought it in 2018. This is including accidental drops, my pulleys breaking because I pulled on them too hard, and me accidentally smacking them against the walls. Although they both have some battle scars, I haven't had any issues with them being reliable so far. And again, this is 5 years in. The headset is just plug and play and it works every time. The batteries are very easy to switch on the controllers, and I've only had to recalibrate one of them once. So now that I've talked about why I got the headset and all of the things that I've noticed while using it, I'll give you my overall conclusion. The Samsung Odyssey Plus Windows Mixed Reality headset has served its purpose very well for the past 5 years. Despite the bulky, clumsy controllers and tracking, I've really enjoyed using it. The displays look pretty good when running them at 200%, which I know probably isn't realistic for a lot of people depending on what GPU you have, but I'm sure you can boost it up to some percentage above 100 and it'll look just fine. I enjoy how simple it is to use the headset with my PC because, like I said before, it really is just plug and play, especially with my current setup. But with that being said, I'm definitely looking forward to upgrading to a Quest 3 soon, since I've recently been playing more and more VR. I would definitely like to have a wireless setup, and I think better tracking would be very nice. But with that said, that concludes my experience of using the Samsung Odyssey Plus Windows Mixed Reality headset for the past 5 years. Thanks for watching. Hope you have a great rest of your day. Peace.